G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here playing Age of Empires 4 on the new expansion. This is the Sultan's Ascend, and today we've got an absolutely brilliant game for you. Two of the world's best players going up against one another. Let's get to it. Spawning in the south of the map in the color yellow as the Mongols. Did I say the M in the Mongols there? I probably need to pronounce that a little bit more. Give it a bit more emphasis, Strongo. The Mongols. It's Lucifron. And in the north of the map, in the color purple, playing as the Japanese, representing Team Liquid, it's Demu. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. If you're enjoying this content, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, and of course, hit that bell for notifications. Let's get into it. We've got ourselves, undoubtedly, a wonderful matchup here. A civilization that excels in the early game. The Japanese up against another civilization that loves to play those dirty, early game, aggressive openings. It's going to get good. We have got Spearmen coming out already for Demu. Have a look at this. He's got a Spearman in queue. Not going to be going the route of the Samurai this early. Instead, sending the Spearman towards the Mongol base. And I think this is such a smart move by Demu. This is something I love to do when I'm playing against the Mongols, especially when I'm playing as the Chinese or the Jussi Legacy. It just feels so damn good because there are so many reasons why this just works. Number one, if your opponent, the Mongol player, decides he's going to put down a barracks, well, congratulations, you've already got the response that you need against any units that come out and look to harass your gold or look to harass your stone. That's the first point. But second of all, if they don't do anything, if they say, I'm going to drop the Uvu, but I'm just going to go into the Feudal Age and maybe look for a Castle Age timing, well, guess what? Now, all of a sudden, you've made it very annoying for them because you can start to siege down things. You can start to siege the Uvu. You can say, hey, where's your gold? Maybe your gold's a little bit far out. Don't mind if I do. That's exactly what we see happening here for Demu. But unfortunately, Lucifron has thrown down the barracks, and we do start to see two Spearmen on the way for him. So one thing to note, we don't have any players looking to take the middle just yet. There's only a handful of fish out here. Well, not even a handful, really. It depends if you've lost a couple of fingers in the, well, I probably shouldn't say. That's kind of, look, if you got 2 fingers, this is a, this is a handful of fish for you. But, yeah, anyway, you probably got 5 fingers on each hand, like me. Welcome. Barracks still pumping, and he's going to move into Samurai. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love this. I think this is so cool. You open it up with the Spearmen, and then the Samurai are going to be the cherry on top because, you know, Lucifron right now is chasing away Demu, but it's only going to be until that first Samurai comes out. Once that first Samurai comes out, that's it. He just turns around, and now it's the shoe is on the other foot. We can see villagers are already over here for Lucifron, but you can be certain this villager is going to have to fall back. There is no way this villager is getting any outposts up. Moving forward, trying to, I think he's going after the sheep right there. You can see him trying his best to get the surround on it. I think he's going for the sheep there. Villagers trying to sneak up towards that top side. Will Demu spot it? It doesn't look like it. The scout's nowhere near where that villager is. So he's really got no idea here, but we do start to see the forge coming up, and I'm curious to see where Lucifron looks to attack. With regard to the base, he knows about the gold, and that's pretty much it. He's going to be coming in for a sneaky little outpost here, and I believe he's trying to bait his opponent down towards this south side. Looks like the Spearman will probably go down. Indeed, he finally gets it, but that villager does get caught out. The Samurai are going to be able to spot it. So, Demu managing to take control early on in this game with the Samurai. One thing to note, though, is we've got no pressure out on the water, though. Still a distinct lack of docks out here, and I think that's to be expected. Realistically, I think that's absolutely fine since they reduced the amount of fish that you do get in these ponds. One thing to note, though, is there are a lot of berries on this map, so really good for civilizations that like berries. Civilizations like your Ayyubid, your Abbasid, your Delhi Sultanate, and of course, your Jussi Legacy. Very, very good here as well. But of course, the Japanese do get bonuses towards their berry gathering, so they're going to love it just as much. Have a look at this. The Samurai actually getting repelled by the spears, something I didn't expect to see. Keep in mind, he's up against that double production. Another villager, well, it's the same one as before, running out here. And have a look at the number of units that we've got. Lucifron now with 12 military units in the Dark Age. We've got ourselves a little bit of a Dark Age dance-off coming through. They are non-stop spamming at this stage. Lucifron's still hard committing to units. We don't see him moving too much out here for any more sheep. I think he might have to start thinking about going out to, never mind, what do we got here? Okay, never mind. It was a little bit weird because they're at the top of the TC. You can't really see them. Let's check in and see how Demu's doing. Demu's got plenty of sheep here as well. He'll be fine for a little bit longer. Always got to be careful in these extended feudal age fights. You can spend quite a bit of food, but now those spears looking together with the samurai to deny any presence on this front line. Villager pulled back, but he's just got it close enough to the front where he can easily tap away at it. Samurai now turning its attention towards the villager. It's got 1 health left on it, but it's going to go down. Demu shutting down that early attack, but have a look at this. Lucifron able to overwhelm the early samurai of his opponent. You would think that in this situation, the samurai would be unstoppable. You'd think they'd be undeniably king in this early stage fight. But the reality is that the Mongols just overwhelmed the opponent. They've got too many units to come through here. So he's still got production underway. 1 more spearman in queue. Another looks like he's got a double set coming out as well shortly. There it is. They do stack in the queue separately to the standard spearman because it's technically a different unit because it's 2. But there you go. So now on the defensive, Demu about to age up, but the problem's going to be if he loses his gold, he somewhat forces himself into a bit of a weird strategy in the feudal age. Of course, he could think about going for a second TC. That's absolutely fine, but ideally you'd like to keep control of that gold. It's kind of important, especially up against the Mongols, and it looks like he's going to be able to do that. 4 samurai coming out, villagers are moving out once again. 6 vills on gold. Could just be looking to go straight to Castle Age here, and I think that could be a decent play here on this map. Look to get to Castle Age. Makes a lot of sense, right? You go Castle Age, you get access to the Yorishiro, start picking up those relics, throw the Yorishiro in a stable, look to try and get some mounted samurai out on the map. That could definitely be quite a strong play here from him. He's aging up with the Kura storehouse. 9 villagers on this landmark. He is in a hurry to get up. Wants to try and look for this hardened upgrade as well. Going to be really important for him to focus on getting that upgrade once he's aged up. That's going to give him extra armor. It's going to help him out a huge amount. We can see he still has... He's actually picked up the +1 melee attack as well. Age up comes through. Expect to see a hardened upgrade coming through immediately as well. There it is. It's going to be +2 he's looking for. There's the hardened upgrade. So looking to try and maximize his early damage here. But keep in mind, 2 villagers have been brought forward for this outpost to go down. Scout will spot it. He's going to be careful with that scout. Spear's able to surround the samurai. Vill's getting pulled to the front. Might be looking to bust down this outpost, cognizant of the threat that it really does represent. Villagers now going to be pulled towards these spearmen, looking to try and get in on it as well. And the timing is absolutely immaculate. The bald spears trying their best to defend the outpost. Looks like it will get up. If it does, there will be villager losses that happen. One of them's already gone down. Expect to see more villagers go down now. That's going to be a second one. Where is it? Let me see it. They're all turning towards the outpost. Plenty of them on low health managed to make it out. But unfortunately, it looks like with these spears together with the outpost, a couple more are going to be going down. That's 3 that go down right now. 4 that have gone down. That's going to be a 5th one. And that single outpost nets him a victory of 5, or early game victory rather, of 5 villagers, which is absolutely massive. Age up comes through on the other side of the map. It's going to be the silver tree that he's opting for. Keep in mind, he's got really good trade post positioning in this game, so expect to see him look to try and take advantage of that trade sooner rather than later. Outposts coming up again here. Relentless pressure coming through from Lucifron. I tell you what, going through Lucifron, or going up against Lucifron, your games are so likely to end early. He's just such an aggressive player, and you can see it right now, just how good he is. Just non-stop aggression coming in, but by the same token, Demu doing a wonderful job putting up the defense, but you can't help but feel like he's just falling a little bit behind after losing those villagers. Not a lot of these villagers have got full health left on them, and now he's going to look to pull for this next outpost. Will he be able to break it? I suspect he probably will. He's going to go after the villagers instead. Gets the surround. The shivs come out. Villager goes down immediately. And Lucifron says, oh, okay, I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, well played. And that villager manages to make it out. So far, 2 villagers going down for Lucifron, 5 villagers going down for Demu. So not too bad, but still down 3 villagers against your opponent. It isn't going to feel the best. And now the question's going to be, how much trade do we actually see from Lucifron? Now, it doesn't look like he ever connected it to the Uvu. Will mean he'll be looking to move down towards that corner and look to connect that trade network up. But keep in mind, it's one of those things that if you're not looking to shut it down actively from your opponent, you'll need to find a way to keep up with it. And it can be very difficult. The Mongol trade is one of the best trades in the game. It's up there with Ottoman trade, which can move faster and carry a bigger payload. So keep that in mind. But this stage of the game, looks like players are just kind of chilling out, heading back to the drawing board for the moment. Aggression has died down. No signs of an outpost on the front. We've had 3 of them taken down so far throughout this game. And now Demu's looking to get on the aggressive once again. Down towards that south side. Looks like Lucifron going to be moving into a couple of Keshiks as the Silver Tree does finally get positioned on that southern corner. At the 10-minute mark, double Keshik is out now. Only got 90 stone in the bank. But it'll all be going into units, and now those Onabagashia will struggle up against these Keshiks. Of course, the Keshiks not particularly good against Spearmen, but perhaps we'll see some archers coming out for him. Check in on that north side and see how Demu's doing. You know, we talked about the prospect of Castle Age a little bit earlier. He was quite heavy on gold. 5 to 6 villages on gold, but now that's gone up to 8 villages on gold. So, if anything, this Castle Age just looks more and more likely, even though he's got, to be fair, he's still got quite a bit of units in production here. So maybe it's not going to be the case. Maybe he will look to apply pressure to his opponent. Keep in mind, playing as the Japanese, it's likely that you're just going to see infantry compositions early on in this game. And of course, it doesn't seem like there's any difference or any deviation from that. Going for that triple infantry composition. 1 samurai, 3 spears, 10 Onabagashia. Quite a bit. Of course, they are weak to the Keshik as long as those spearmen do get taken out. Problem is, your archer numbers aren't the strongest. You've only got 3 on the field at the moment, so Lucifron is going to be looking to go double archery range in the hopes that he's able to build up those numbers pretty quickly. Demu definitely thinking about Castle Age. We can see even though he's got lots of gold in the bank, it's still going to take time for him to work towards that food. 550 food per minute coming through. Keshik's looking to make a connection. A lot of villagers here with relatively low health. The first one's going to be able to connect. Second villager goes down as well. He's taken out a total of 7 this game now. And we'll look to clean out an 8th village up. We'll be able to get it. Gets a little bit of a heal. Khan goes down in the middle of the map. It looks like the Onabagashia have caught the Khan off guard. But now we start to see the power of those Keshiks, and part of the reason why walls become so important in the game, and finally we do start to see them drop down at the 12-minute mark for Demu. We hadn't really mentioned it earlier, but walls are incredibly important playing up against the Mongols. It can be difficult though. You've got to be very careful with them, just simply because these Keshiks can actually heal off your walls. Remember that your Keshiks, or rather enemy Keshiks, oh, what do we have there? A little bit of a spaz out right there. It looks like he's going to be okay, though. Infantry numbers do continue to build for Demu here. But you've got to be very careful about where you place walls against the Mongols. Just because of the Keshik and its ability to heal off attacks, it can naturally get back up to that 100% health if it does find a wall or a building just chilling out somewhere that it shouldn't be. So even a wall like this, you could try and bring that Keshik around and try and start attacking it. Probably a little bit too close for comfort, though. So probably a good idea to avoid, but Castle Age definitely on the way through. 13 minutes in to this game. We'll take a look at how the trade is going for Lucifron. The first trader looks like it's only just arrived now. Hold on, where is he rallying to? Oh, this is interesting. Is this on purpose? I don't know how this works. So is he rallying to here and then right-clicking the trade post? Is that what's happening? I don't actually know what he's looking to do with this, though. I suspect that's probably what's happening. He's rallying it to here, and then he hasn't scouted it. He hasn't scouted the trade post. All right, there we go. He spots it. 71 gold going to be coming through. Now that he's connected the trade post, it's all starting to make a little bit of sense. I couldn't work it out initially. I was trying to do the math on it, backflipping over and myself, and finally we managed to sort it out. It was only when I saw that second route that it all started connecting there. So hadn't scouted it out. Uvu's depleted. He's going to be looking for a second one as the new Khan rises. Looks like down towards the south of the base. He has found it. Speaking of finding things, on that north side, expect to see the Yoroshiros coming out shortly. Did he just throw 3 farms down around the Kura storehouse? Whew. Talk about cardinal sins of the Japanese. Look, I'm not going to call the macro... I'm doing it. Call the macro police. Okay, macro police. Why are we calling the macro police? Ladies and gentlemen, if you go for the Kura storehouse, it provides a farm, a rice field, every 45 seconds. At least it used to be. I think it's 50 seconds now. Yeah, it's 50 seconds. That's 75 wood every 50 seconds. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty damn decent. That's not a bad amount. The problem is that once it runs out of space, it can't do that anymore. So what it starts to do instead is provide you wood. The problem is it doesn't provide you a wood amount equivalent to the farm wood that you get. So in this situation, the correct thing to do would have been to actually place these farms up against the town center instead. That way you're still getting your daimyo mana bonus, and that way your farms from the Kura storehouse will still fill in automatically. Now, there is an exception to that, and that is if you only want 12 farms, then what Demu's done is correct. But typically we do see players opt for more than 12 farms quite regularly in game, so I suspect this might just be a case of the macro police having to issue a citation today. But Shinto Shrine now coming down on the front. Looks like the Katana Beneman going to be joining the army. Of course, the first Yorishiro has come through. It's going to be in the barracks, and immediately we start to see veterancy coming through for the Honor Geisha. Lucifron on the other side of the map, yet to even think about moving up towards that castle age. But one thing to note, the economy is beginning to build for him. He's got a large amount of traders beginning to grow on this south side of the map, up to 9 traders now, pulling ahead of his opponent. Keep in mind, not only does he have the traders to his name, but he's also got that advantage with regard to villagers. Demu never looked for a second TC. It means he's not going to have any real way to catch up to his opponent other than taking out the villagers or just simply winning the game through brute force and sheer strength. He's done it before, but will he be able to do it today? Demu now looking to make his way across the map. Pretty decent sized economy behind this. The upgrades are on the way through. He's looking to pick up +2 ranged armor. Keep in mind, he's got veterancy on the Honor Geisha. Yet to pick up veterancy on the Spearmen. Yet to pick up veterancy on those Samurai as well. Where are they? Does he actually have any Samurai in here? It doesn't look like I can see any. I might be a little bit blind though, so you have to forgive me. No, it's only the single Samurai. There it is. He's at the back. So still hardened. But now, fighting up against these archers, he's going to have a bit of a tough time. These archers are plentiful. Big charges coming in. The Keshik numbers looking decent here. And look at Lucifron, how defensive he's playing, almost inviting his opponent to come into the base, saying, you know, come on, really try and push into me. I dare you. He could have easily taken this army, but still, he falls back, he plays safe, and it's such a smart move by Lucifron. Able to repel his opponent now, and faces up against a difficult situation here, Demu does. On the north side of the map, it looks like we're going to have the Daimyo Mena upgrading is going to be going up to the Daimyo Palaces. The next Yorishiros come out. Looks like he will rally it onto the barracks, get himself a little bit more production. He's picked up 2 relics already. Expect to see more on the way through for him, and that's one of the ways that you can close the gap in this situation. But keep in mind, your opponent continues to grow up at almost 20 villagers in this situation, looking to try and pick off some of these archers. Not going to be able to find it. And of course, this is a difficult composition to deal with now that I think about it, because ideally you want to have a big economy if you're going to be going for this full infantry mass like this, because now all of a sudden it just makes it so easy to get picked off. The reason why this infantry mass works is because often you've got so many units that your opponent just has difficulty picking them all off. And we can see the Samurais hit the front, but now the Keshiks are just going to be able to clean them up there. So Demu running into a bit of a brick wall there, and beautiful micro coming through from Lucifron rather. Wonderful positioning. Gosh, I tell you what, I'm starting to lose my words. It's getting a little bit late though, 11:45 in the evening. Something naturally that happens as you do go on in your day. Get a little bit tireder, a little bit more tired. Cleaning up this mass completely. Lucifron is going to overwhelm his opponent completely, but it looks like we've got ourselves a little bit of action. No, it's going to be a Shinto priest looking for a couple of relics on that east side. We'll be able to find it as well, as he does get a pickup there. But overall, an incredibly good fight here for Lucifron. Demu on 13 military population, but if there's one thing going for him, it is that it's all samurai. Now, there's probably a world where you can just mass samurai here, and it does actually pretty well. You might have to throw in mounted crossbows behind it. So the, oh gosh, you're testing me. You're testing Drongo. Not going to be the case. He's going to go for mounted samurai instead. Cancels it. Kurultai going to be coming out on the other side of the map. Definitely do support this. Now, one of the things to mention it, this is basic level Mongol stuff. You know, whenever I'm coaching over on Patreon, which if you'd like to check out, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to improve. Replay reviews, got lots of good stuff over there. If you'd like to get your own coaching, check it out. But one of the things I often talk about is whenever you're playing as the Mongols, you've got 2 routes to go. You can go for those deer stones, but it means you're going to have to go in for that step redoubt in the castle age. Whereas here, if you go for the trade landmark, you don't need to worry so much about gold from the step redoubt because you've already got that gold coming through from your trade. So it means that you can go up into the Kurultai, and that's exactly what Lucifron looks to do here, securing the Kurultai to the castle age a little bit before the 20-minute mark. Not a bad effort at all, and maintains a decent mass out on the field. Kurultai going to be moving forward. Keep in mind it does have that healing ability now as well. And at this stage of the game, what has Demu got going for him? Well, he's got 4 relics going for him. That's a positive. 5th relic might actually get picked up here. We can see that the mounted samurai is moving in the direction. Has he scouted this out? He hasn't actually scouted this out yet. Still quite a bit unscouted by Demu, but will spot that 5th relic and might say to himself, hey, maybe it's time to pick up a 5th relic here. Mounted Samurai making its way onto the backline. One of the best raiding units in the game, just simply because it's able to absorb that initial attack, buys itself a little bit more time, allows it to stay alive a little bit longer, and that really starts to stack up over time. Once you've got those deflections that continue to come in, second Mounted Samurai now going to be joining, spots out the trader, able to take it out. The Khan's back here. It looks like the Keshiks might be on the way. Indeed, they are looking to clean this up. A little bit of a delayed reaction here coming out from Lucifron, but definitely makes sense considering the position he was on. He was up towards that north side of the map, and now the units continue to build. Large focus here, mainly on Samurai at this stage. Mounted Samurai going to continue doing the chop down here. He's starting to build up some decent numbers. 6 worker kills, 7 worker kills. Keshiks continue to come out. Mounted Samurai just chilling in the wood line. Does get shut down over on that west side, but still doing a good job here over on this wood line. It looks like it might be a little bit unnoticed. He's finally spotted it out, moves to surrounded, will be able to take it out. 7 damage on these villagers. Only 4 armor on that Mounted Samurai. Will make it quite difficult for that Samurai to stay alive. And now once again looking to disrupt the trade. Really, really important that he shuts this down. At this stage of the game, there's 17 traders, which is basically the difference between these two players at this stage. On the north side of the map, the second town center has come down, so we do have Demu scaling into the late game. And now Demu going to have to make a bit of a run for it. There are so many Keshiks here, not enough spearmen at all. The numbers are looking really, really solid for Lucifron. He started to mix in crossbows as well, sprinkled in placements as well. And now the Samurai just going to be tanking up on the front line up against these Keshiks. The Keshiks going to fall back. We'll be looking for a secondary charge here. Ideally, he wants to add in more crossbows before he really takes this engagement. Kurultai brought up once again. And now Demu heading towards the edge of the map. It's always tough when you're playing as the melee unit composition. You run out of space and all that's left is nowhere to run. And that ain't pretty. So he's left with no choice but to fight. The Khan could be in trouble here. It looks like it will go down. Kurultai comes up on the backside. He's got another little nesting area that he can move to. But he's got to watch these samurais. They continue to move around the edge of the map. Crossbow numbers, are they building? It doesn't really look like it yet. Have a look at this. Mainly sticking it out with archers. Of course, he's got the Kurultai there for a little bit of extra damage. Definitely helps out. As long as he's got +2 along with it. It looks like +2 is only just coming through now. Only 2 crossbows on the field at the moment, but 53 archers is going to give you plenty of damage throughout these fights. As long as you've got the Kurultai nearby, that's going to be a key factor. Mounted Samurai looking to continue cleaning up these traders. He's taken out 20 workers so far. Starting to build up, and keep in mind, Demu's got the second TC pumping as well. Could be back into this game for the Englishman, now turned Swede. At least I'm pretty sure it's Sweden. I remember Demu showing a picture of his house, and I remember him saying he lived in Sweden. And I just remember thinking to myself, damn, this guy is balling out of control. It was like, it was a house in the middle of a forest. It was the sickest house you'd ever seen. I was so envious of it. It looks like you just go foraging. Like, you just go foraging, find some berries, and that's breakfast. Like, what did you get? I got 46 blueberries. Because he's Swedish. That's what they do. They have blueberries. Where are my AoE 3 dudes at? Where are my AoE 3 frogs at? I know you're here. Anyway, we'll check in on the north side. We'll see how Demu is doing. As it looks like the farms do continue to grow. You can see he's got everything a little bit crammed in the base here. Of course, one of the main things we want to do whenever we are playing as the Japanese is leave space open for these inevitable farms that are going to come through. And he's still got space here, right? Like, you can go farm, 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 house, farm, farm. There's still space. It's just, it's a little bit awkward. He's got the farmhouses here as well. But infantry will be chased away from the base. On the defensive now, Demu will be. Have a look at that military difference between these two players. Lucifron, 78 military. 26 for Demu. Now, granted, a large amount of that is archers. And there's a single unit that does very well in this situation against a whole bunch of archers. I know what you're thinking. I'm thinking the same thing. Where is the mangonel? A single mangonel here shuts this down, but of course, you're up against the Mongols, you're up against Lucifron. The only way you're going to take this archer mass out is by surprise. You're going to have to attack him from a stealth forest. You're going to have to hit him over the top of something he doesn't have line of sight on, and you're going to have to hit that center of mass perfectly. But of course, Lucifron is the kind of guy who does not take his eye off the prize and does not take his eye off his army. So keep that in mind. Kurotai trying to find a spot towards the front side. Needs to find a landing. Does manage to make it down. 3,500 health. Heals coming through now for these units. Begins to move up now. Looking to get it right at the enemy's doorstep. Archery range. Stable. 2 Raxes. With the Yoroshiros inside. Kurotai quite literally cannot get that bad boy closer. Meanwhile, towards the east, houses get burned down. A little bit of a raid towards that top. The walls aren't complete on that east side of the base. Mangonel in queue for Lucifron, of all people. He's the one going into the Mangonel. He's up against a huge amount of Onimusha here. The mounted crossbowman. There's the trebuchet. Traction trebs coming through. 2 traction trebuchets. Mango out as well. And now the siege begins. We're entering into the cinematic mode. You know it's time. You know it's time for us to do it. We got to do it. You love to see it. A tremendous Mongol push is beginning to build here. Villagers being brought up. Only the 1 villager by the look of it. Normally 2 villagers. Normally in this situation, I like to bring about 5, 6 villagers just to get these outposts up really quick. Because it's inevitable that your opponent wants to fight you. So the sooner you can get the outposts up, the sooner you get the spring on emplacement, and the more you get, the merrier it's going to be. But look at this army coming out from Demu. Not the biggest army that we've seen, but oh, the Shogunate castle is in. He's looking to try and build a Shogunate defense. Will he be able to find it? The Yoroshiro standing by. The floating gate here as well. It's only a matter of time before the trebuchets realize that the true enemy is standing tall in the center of the base. Mangonel's firing off. Not a lot of space behind that base. Keep that in mind. Double mango. Double treb. I would say double archers, but it's I don't think we've got an English word for it. There's like 100 archers there. We'll just go with 100 archers. How many archers is it? I'm gonna go with 63. 66. That was pretty close. That was a close guess. I mean, it's a ballpark, right? Like, you can't really get much closer than that, right? Anyway. Springled emplacements not yet coming through. We don't see any real presence up here on the front line of outposts. Normally one of the key things you see playing as the Mongols are those springled emplacements on the outposts. It looks like at this stage of the game, Lucifron realizes he is ahead. Springled emplacement coming through for our Japanese player here. And now pushing into the enemy base. He wants to avoid fighting near that town center. Archers looking to try and pick off the infantry. We'll be able to find plenty of damage here. Where is the siege for Demu? That's a barracks. It's not a siege workshop. Where's the siege workshop? I don't see it. This is going to be tough for him. He's up against 3 mangoes. But now looking to push forward. The mounted samurai leading the way, leading the charge. The mangoes onto the backline, dish a huge amount of damage onto those mounted crossbows on the front line. The samurai slowly but steadily eating through the Keshiks. The Khan's going to go down. The triple mangonel still standing strong. At the same time, look at the damage that's coming out from them. The Kurotai buffing everybody up. You can see even the mangonels have got their buffed up damage right now. And standing strong in this fight are the archers in the backline, and you can't help but feel a single mangonel would have changed the tune of this story completely. He's still looking pretty solid on this defense. The split's been good, but for the most part, the army is still standing here strong for Lucifron, able to deny the majority of those melee units, and now the push really starts to come to shove as Lucifron defends the attack. I guess it's not really an attack, it's more of it was an attack. You know, Demu was attacking him on the defensive, right? Like, it felt very much like that, but huge defense coming in there from Lucifron. Demu unable to hold for the moment. Keep in mind, he's got the 2 TCs in play, has rebuilt the economy pretty decently. Main thing here is that he needs the Yoroshiro in the siege workshop, and we finally see it in. But I'm going to be honest, I feel like this is just too little too late. All I'm hearing right now is just JoJo's hit single in my head. You know, it's just too little too late. It just feels that way. You know, 2 minutes earlier, Right before this last engagement, a single mangonel would have changed everything. A mangonel shot on top of those archers enables the cavalry to get in close because the archers can't stand still on top of the mangos anymore. It's just, it all works together. It all works together. Now the relics getting picked apart. The archers, as they push forward, able to snipe out those monks. Slowly but steadily, the push-up continues to happen. There's the villager mass I was talking about. There you go, 6, 7 villagers being pulled up. This is the outpost number that we want to see. Looks like he's leveraging this position over from the east side a little bit. Pushing forward once again. Demu finally with the mangonels over the top rope. Not going to find anything. Falls a little bit short. We're heading into the cinematic mode. You know we're going to do it. We got to do it. We got to hit that cinematic. Springled in placement. Or Springles rather. He's looking for him. Khan comes back up. I can only assume that's it. The mangoes, they fall a little bit short. He's trying to find shots. Needs to come through onto the dancing archers. The dancing archers, they take a huge shot. The Kurotai is here to heal up. On the backside, they get absolutely obliterated. The Keshiks dishing out the damage. And from this point onward, it feels like almost certainty is going to be good game, and indeed it is. Ladies and gentlemen, go check them out. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can watch them live. An incredible game right there, getting to witness action from the Dark Age all the way into the Castle Age. Very well played by Lucifron. Go check them out. I'll leave links in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.